What's up, parents? Thank you so much for joining us and registering your child for our child dedication event coming soon. This event is called the Child Dedication, but calling it an entire family dedication would be a little more accurate. This isn't an infant baptism, but more of a family decision and commitment to help point your child to a relationship with Jesus Christ. It would be simple if there was a formula, or we here at the church could guarantee that if you want your child to love the Lord, just make them hang out with us on Sundays and they'll be good. But the truth is that this is a supernatural work of the Holy Spirit, and we get to play a part in pointing them to Him. Also, we are aware that you, the parent, are the primary spiritual influence in your child's life. It doesn't mean that some great people won't come along the way or that you won't have help. It just means that you are the ones who your child will be molded by most. A pastor I often listen to says the phrase, "Parents, you are making disciples whether you like it or not," and this couldn't be more true. Some people might think, yeah, but isn't this the church's job? And the answer is not really. We look at our job as partners with parents and look to come alongside of you as you disciple your child. The truth is that we will get about 2 hours with your child, and that's on a really good week. You will actually be the ones who get about 75 hours a week with your child, not including sleep or school. And so we realize that you will be the one to have the biggest impact and influence on your child's spiritual lives. Here at Emmanuel, we are constantly thinking of our kids' programming and the things that your child will love and reasons for them to be here, not just when they're young, but into adulthood. And you've probably already heard it or thought it 1,000 times, but it is super true that the days are long, but the years are short. The fact is that these kids that we dedicate today will very quickly be starting school, riding bikes, driving cars, and graduating high school. With our child dedication and with your child's spiritual development, we want to start with the end goal in mind. Now hang with me, I'm kind of a sports guy, and so I tend to think about most things through a sports lens. At the beginning of every season, each team starts with the goal of them holding a championship trophy at the end of the year. Then they come up with a plan of how to get there. I don't think there's ever been a championship team that has just gone out and hoped for the best. We want to help you do the same thing with your child's relationship with Jesus Christ. We want to start putting in an intentional plan and to not just fly by the seat of our pants. Although there will be many days that you get to the end of and you are exhausted and feel like you got nothing accomplished and are grateful that you made it through and your kids are in bed and finally sleeping. But we don't want every day to be like that, or to become a pattern when you wake up and that you're already thinking of how much longer till my kids go to bed. There can definitely be seasons of this, and we are not saying this won't happen, but we definitely want to avoid it as much as possible. Now, I'm not talking about laying out every single detail of our child's lives or having every detail of every day planned. That's impossible. But we do want to think big picture, and how do we go about practically making these spiritual goals actually happen? I love Deuteronomy 6:5-7, which says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your might. And these words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise." If you read that and the phrase "teach them diligently" makes you a little nervous, just keep reading the rest of the verse. It tells us how to do this. It says by talking about these things with your children. You probably have already seen how much your kids learn just by you talking with them. And verse 7 highlights when we should do it. When you sit in your house, when you travel, when you go to bed, and when you wake up. Basically, we should be talking about these things all the time. The good news is that I'm guessing you are talking to your little guy or girl a ton already. So we're committing to be intentional about those future meals together, car rides, nighttime and wake-up routines that come every single day. We really don't want child dedication to just be a day to dress up your child and make them look super cute, but a day that you guys remember and kind of kick off, let's get started. So mom and dad, we have a little homework for you. You guys are going to think of your child graduating high school and walking across that stage. We want you to come up with a top 5 list, basically the top 5 things you hope are true of them when they do walk across that stage. These can be simple things, or they can be very specific that you hope for your child. There are going to be many things, but we want you to whittle it down to your top 5 to really focus in on what is most important to you at the end of the day. Once again, by having the end in mind, the way to get to those top 5 won't just be to send them to church. It will look like you guys leading in those areas, growing and modeling these things to your child. Like we mentioned earlier, you guys really are the number 1 spiritual influence in your child's life. So this may be an encouragement for you as well to continue to be growing in your faith and every day walk with Jesus. Elementary school teachers often use the phrase, I do, we do, you do. And this is great. It's such a helpful teaching strategy, but it starts with I do. You will be modeling these things to your child so that one day they will do them on their own. When you have your top 5 figured out, would you email your list to dagmarmay at dagmarm@emmanuelhome.org. This way we can have them, and at our child dedication, we want to specifically pray for your child for these things. So talk through them, pray about them, and spend some time wrestling through your top 5 hopes for your child and their walk with Christ. We think this is so great because the people who are joining you that day will most likely be the ones helping you most along the way. The last thing, or little bit of homework you have, is to email jjennison at jj@emmanuelhome.org about 8 to 10 of your favorite pictures of your child, because we have a little special something planned for that day. Don't worry, we'll email you all this stuff in case you weren't writing it down. Thanks so much for watching and taking this homework so seriously. The first thing we really wanted to show you is that in the future, when you sign your kid up for things, it mostly means way more work for you. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye, guys.